A new tell-all book has just been released that gives readers an in-depth behind-the-scenes look at the royal family. With a central focus around Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, authors Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand unpack the secrets hidden in the royal couple's relationship. The book is called Finding Freedom: Harry and Meghan and the Making of a Modern Royal Family, if you want to check it out. The origin of this book has become a bit of a hot topic of debate as well. You see, the authors claim that they obtained all of their information by conducting over 100 interviews with those who know Harry and Meghan best, and even some Buckingham Palace aides. That being said, Palace insiders believe that the book was sanctioned by Harry and Meghan, which is being billed as the truth behind their departure from the royal family. Setting aside as to whether or not that they had any say in the book, it certainly brought a lot of things to light about their life as members of the royal family. Harry and Meghan actually met on a blind date that took place at Soho House's Dean Street townhouse in London. A source in the palace told the authors that they chatted over drinks for nearly 3 hours before going their separate ways. Almost immediately though, they were obsessed with one another, and Harry apparently appeared to be in a trance of some sort after his date. Meghan had checked off every box for Harry, and he knew that they would be together even after that one date. Due to how high profile Prince Harry's life is though, he and Meg had to do a lot of very secretive dates to avoid any negative publicity. Like, I read that they got walked in through a back door into a restaurant and they had to shut the whole place down. Craziness. Once they became a public couple though, it would become expressly clear as to why they hid their relationship for so long. You see, in the early days of their romance, Prince Harry had gifted Meghan with a 14-karat gold chain bearing the initials of H&M. Apparently this necklace alone sparked a huge controversy behind the castle walls. Like Game of Thrones behind the castle walls. The authors in the book detailed what happened and said she was advised that wearing such a necklace only served to encourage the photographers to keep pursuing such images and new headlines. When Meghan finally met Harry's brother William, she was worried that he would grill her, but instead William reportedly said that he was looking forward to meeting the woman who had put that silly grin on his brother's face, which is kinda cute. Sadly, Meghan experienced a lot of hatred for the color of her skin, to the point where Harry had to issue a statement that was released by his communications secretary. In part of the statement they said, Prince Harry is worried about Miss Markle's safety and is deeply disappointed that he has not been able to protect her. It is not right that a few months into a relationship with him that Miss Markle should be subjected to such a storm. He knows commentators will say that this is the price that she has to pay and that this is all part of the game. He strongly disagrees. This is not a game, it is her life and his. Harry went on to condemn the racist and sexist abuse that his girlfriend was going through the moment that the relationship went public. His relationship with his brother is a bit tumultuous as well though. According to the book sources, William had told Harry to not feel like he needed to rush this relationship, and apparently that really angered Harry, which some Palace insiders believe was an overreaction, and maybe, but who knows, we weren't there. However, it still sums up them as people, with William being the calm and rational one, and Harry being the one who can't help but take things far too personally. Perhaps the most frustrating truth about this couple is the amount of criticism and flack that they get on a daily basis from not just the royal family, but even the staff who work there. For example, the Queen's longtime dresser Angela Kelly was constantly at odds with Harry leading up to the wedding. He was trying to obtain access to Meghan's chosen tiara for a hair trial in advance for the big day, but Angela was constantly dragging her feet. She kept telling him that the Queen was rejecting her choice of tiara, but in reality there was never a disagreement between Meghan and the Queen. Rather, the conflict was just between Harry and Angela. More concerns about the stability of the royal family started to bubble up simply by trying to organize a family photo. The book alleges that Prince William and Prince Harry were not excited to get together for this photo either. A source close to the family said the boys can be hot and cold with their father, calling the planning for the photo an absolute nightmare, adding that neither William nor Harry made much of an effort to make themselves available. Now, if you've been following this couple, then you'll know that both of them have chosen to step away from their royal duties. Again, according to the book, Buckingham Palace had little warning when it came to the details of them announcing that they were stepping down from their royal duties in January. What absolutely flustered the Buckingham Palace aides was that a website had laid out the intricacies of their departure. However, despite having people conspire against them and trying to ruin their relationship from the get-go, the couple are doing just fine now. They've been living in a secluded compound in Los Angeles with their 1-year-old son Archie, while still doing volunteer work in the area delivering meals with Project Angel Food.
And at number 10, Harry and Meghan are related. This should be taken with a slight grain of salt, because at some point, if we go back far enough, we're pretty much all related. So as we know, Meghan was born American, and of course Harry is British, but they still share some DNA. The Daily Mail did a genealogical investigation where it was revealed that Harry and Meghan are cousins dating back to the 15th century. The connection is on Markle's father's side, but of course it's 15 generations back, so there are no real connections still intact, and there's zero chance anyone will be related at family gatherings. In at number 9, always wanted to be famous. An old friend of Meghan's came forward after the engagement claiming that Meghan always wanted to be famous, even since childhood. She not only loved being the center of attention from a young age, she was very calculated in who she spent her time with. Nanaki Pretty told the Daily Mail, quote, "All I can say now is I think that Meghan was calculated, very calculated in the way she handled people and relationships. She is very strategic in the way she cultivates circles of friends." Pretty also claimed that Meghan always wanted to be famous. Royal scholars have pointed out that this trait is a positive for Meghan and Harry's relationship. Apparently most of Harry's other relationships didn't work out because the women he was with did not like all the attention, but clearly this is not an issue for Meghan. Penny Jenner, author of Prince Harry, Brother Soldier's Son, told the Express, quote, "One of the advantages of Meghan is because she's in the public eye, she likes that. The real problem with Harry's girlfriends in the past is that they absolutely hated the media attention that scared them off." In at number 8, Meghan cheated with Harry. After Meghan was confirmed to be dating Prince Harry, it came out that there might have been some overlap between her relationship with Harry and with her ex, who was Canadian chef Corey Vitello. Before she started dating Harry, Meghan was seen out with the chef on multiple occasions. Nobody thought anything about her past relationship until a fan noticed that Vanity Fair changed the date when Harry and Meghan started dating from May to July of 2016, because apparently she was still with the chef in May. Harry and Meghan first met at the Invictus Games in Toronto, and when Harry asked for her number, the Telegraph reported that she was still with her ex. The Daily Mail actually asked the chef about his split with Meghan, and he claimed that he and Meghan had, quote, parted permanently when Harry came on scene. However, he did somewhat hint that the pair might have been together in some capacity while she still was with Harry. And at number 7, fame changed her. After news broke that Meghan was marrying Harry and would become a princess, many sources came out saying that fame had changed her, and she's all about climbing the social ladder. In December of 2017, news broke that Samantha Markle, who is Meghan's estranged half-sister, was planning a tell-all book about Meghan. In an interview with The Sun, Samantha said, quote, "Hollywood has changed her. I think her ambition is to become a princess." Samantha also complained that Meghan forgot about her after gaining high society status. A source close to the family told E! News that Samantha cannot be trusted. However, Samantha is not the only person who says this about Meghan. Meghan's former best friend, Nikandi Pretty, told the Daily Mail in December of 2017, quote, "There's Meghan before fame and Meghan after fame." And at number 6, chose career over marriage. Before Meghan was known for her role on Suits, she was actually married to a producer named Trevor Engelson for 2 years, before they eventually split. The split was apparently caused because of Meghan's work, and a former friend said that Meghan clearly chose her career and work over her husband. The former friend, who served as a maid of honor at Markle's wedding to Engelson, told the Daily Mail, quote, "It was such a shock when she told me they were getting divorced. Apparently the stress of the long-distance relationship is what caused the main issue. Meghan was living in Canada at the time, filming the show Suits while her husband was in LA. Apparently Engelson was heartbroken over the split and did not see it coming." Halfway at number 5, does not treat animals well. Meghan Markle likes to be known for her humanitarian and social efforts. One thing that Meghan is very proud of is that she adopted 2 dogs from a rescue shelter. But it seems that it was not happily ever after for the 2 puppies. After Meghan became a princess and was set to move to Kensington Palace in 2017, a spokesperson confirmed that Markle's retriever, Bogart, would not join her overseas. Apparently Meghan felt that it was inhumane for the dog to take the long trip, along with the difficult approval process for dogs coming into the country, and Meghan left the dog with one of her friends in LA. Then later in December, Daily Mail reported that her other dog, Guy, broke both of his legs. We're not sure what the circumstances were, but apparently Meghan was, quote, distraught over the accident. In at number 4, Meghan cut off her friends. After Meghan split from her ex-husband, it was said that she spent a lot of time in London. While there, she apparently formed a friendship with local TV personality Lizzie Cundy. After attending an event together, Lizzie disclosed that Meghan wanted her to help finding a new man. Apparently Meghan wanted him to be British and famous. In a 2019 tell-all, Cundy wrote about Meghan, quote, "We were having a girly chat and then she said, 'Do you know any famous guys? I'm single and I really love English men.' So I said, we'll go out and find you someone." Apparently Meghan was interested in soccer player Ashley Cole, but it didn't go anywhere. Then Meghan apparently slid into the DMs of X Factor winner Matt Cardle in 2015, but shortly after that Cardle just stopped replying. But apparently after Harry showed some interest in Meghan, Meghan felt she had no need to stay in touch with Lizzie Cundy anymore and basically ghosted her. Apparently Cundy asked Meghan about Harry, then they chatted for a bit, but never saw each other again. Cundy added, quote, "I was literally ghosted by her." In at number 3, the staff hate her. It was reported that while Meghan and Harry were living in the royal palace with the other family members, the staff hated Meghan so much that they started to quit. In October of 2018, a palace aide and assistant named Melissa quit because of, quote, Hurricane Meghan. Apparently Melissa was a longtime aide of the family's and a trusted assistant, but that all changed when Meghan came into the picture and annoyed the staff with her requests. Apparently Meghan adopted a lot of West Coast habits like waking up at 5 a.m. and, quote, bombarding aides with texts. One source told the Mirror, quote, Meghan put a lot of demands on her and it ended up with her in tears. Melissa is a total professional and fantastic at her job, but things came to a head and it was easier for them to both go their separate ways. Apparently Meghan's tension with her staff also caused a rift between Meghan and Kate. Kate apparently called out Meghan for her strict and disrespectful behavior towards the staff. And at number 2, inappropriate requests. On the day of Harry and Meghan's wedding, Meghan wanted everything to be exactly the way she liked it, which is usually what happens for normal weddings. But royal weddings are much different, and most of what happens is passed down for generations and become very strong traditions for the royals. Meghan tried to change a lot of things around for her wedding, which people did not like. One of the most offensive requests was when Meghan asked for air fresheners to be deployed in the chapel where she was to get married. Apparently the smell inside St. George's Chapel was not good enough for her. British insiders stated it does have somewhat of a musty smell, but it is not unpleasant, and it's expected for a building that's been around since 1475. A source said that Meghan wanted the staff to go around with spray guns to make it smell better, but the request was denied. The source said, quote, royal household staff stepped in and told her office politely but firmly that this was the Queen's chapel and it simply wasn't appropriate. I don't believe a request of that nature has ever been made before. And finally at number 1, Meghan knew she wouldn't stay royal. The exit of Harry and Meghan from the royal family was devastating news to many, but after further investigation, it seems that Meghan might have known she was not going to be a royal for long. And she might have even concocted this scheme to get the most amount of press possible, then to leave the royal family and go back to Hollywood, where she's always wanted to be. When it was announced that the royals would be leaving, everyone blamed the decision on Meghan, as she was the only change in the family before Harry's formal exit. British columnists said that they think Meghan did not know the difference between being a celebrity and being a royal. Canadian millionaire Kevin O'Leary even slammed Meghan, saying she was the reason that nobody cares about the couple anymore. Quote, I think Meghan got him into a bad place, and maybe she should do a little soul searching. She knew what she was getting into when she married him. Page 6 also reported that Meghan put some clothes in a storage location in Canada before she got married. She then decided to keep them in Canada, and they were sent to the couple's new Vancouver home after the Megxit announcement. Maybe Meghan left them there because she knew she would be coming back. And at number 10, Piers Morgan. Infamous journalist Piers Morgan might be one of the most outspoken people against Meghan Markle. And there's actually a dating story behind that. It makes the whole thing even more juicy. So apparently Piers asked Meghan out on a date before she was with Harry, of course. And rumor has it that they went out on that date, but Meghan ghosted Piers after. And this could be the real reason that Piers can seem very angry towards Meghan when talking about her. Most recently, after Meghan's explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, Piers did not hold back, trashing her on Good Morning Britain. And before him and the other hosts could even discuss the topic, he went on raging about how the interview's tarnishing the reputation of Britain around the world and hurting everything the Queen has worked so hard for. He also made a point to say that he does not believe a word that she says, so I mean, clearly he's not a fan. And at number 9, Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams trashes pretty much everyone on her show, so I'm not sure Meghan should take it personally, but for some reason Wendy Williams really hates Meghan Markle and is not afraid to tell the world. When the couple first got together, Wendy said, quote, there's way too much drama with her and that will not work out. Then when the two did get married and Meghan became a royal, Wendy said on her show that Meghan, quote, weaseled her way into that kingdom, also calling her the, quote, Duchess of Malibu. Then when Wendy was talking about the documentary Harry and Meghan: An African Journey, she spoke about how Meghan was warned that she should stay away from Harry, as the tabloids would ruin her whole life. But apparently Meghan didn't believe this. But Wendy didn't buy that and said, quote, yes you did, you knew exactly what you were doing. Please don't try to garner sympathy from us. I guess insinuating that Meghan knew exactly the kind of press craziness that she was getting into. And at number 8, Katie Hopkins. Katie Hopkins is a well-known British writer who has made it very clear that she hates Meghan Markle. She once coined Meghan as the, quote, American Kate Middleton, and, quote, a budget princess Di with an Oscar-winning innocent face. Hopkins even went on 60 Minutes to talk about Markle, who described her as a, quote, nobody who, quote, wears bad clothes. Plus agrees with some other haters who are calling Meghan a hypocrite. She even once clapped back at a tourist defending Meghan. When the tourist told her, quote, there's nothing wrong with Meghan, Hopkins replied, quote, but then there's nothing right with her either.
And at number 7, Chrissie Swan. Chrissie Swan is an Australian TV personality that has been outspoken critiquing Meghan Markle. Chrissie first made comments about Meghan on Facebook, following news of the royal engagement between Prince Harry and Meghan. She wrote, quote, "For some reason, I still haven't warmed up to her," adding that she felt Meghan was still acting while she was out with Harry, saying that the humility that she showed was all just an act. While a few people agreed with Swan's opinion, others were mad, calling her a bully and saying that they were, quote, "very disappointed by her comments." And at number 6, Trevor Engelson. So if you don't already know who Trevor Engelson is, he's actually Meghan Markle's first husband. And for the most part, he's actually been pretty respectful to Meghan's privacy and hasn't commented publicly about her. But that doesn't mean that comments he made in private about her haven't been leaked to the public. Royal biographer Andrew Morton is the one that spilled the beans on Engelson's feelings towards Meghan. In his book called Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, the author portrays Trevor's alleged dislike for his ex-wife. In the book, the author reveals that Engelson initially loved being married to Meghan, but later felt like nothing to her, which was confirmed to him when Meghan allegedly mailed her wedding ring back to Trevor out of the blue after 2 years of marriage. Halfway at number 5, Erin Foster. Erin Foster is the daughter of musician David Foster, as well as a writer and performer. She's another person that is known for blasting celebrities online, with Meghan being one of those people. In November of 2017, Erin posted a photo of Meghan from her Deal or No Deal days and captioned it, quote, "never forget," which is definitely some subtle shade. Then, just to make sure her followers would not forget, she posted another picture of Meghan with a briefcase and added an even harsher caption that read, quote, "this briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." So it's clear that she just thinks Meghan is a clout chaser hungry for fame. And at number 4, Prince Andrew. Now we're getting into some of the people in the royal family who are not too fond of the Duchess. Apparently, a source said that after she got engaged to Prince Harry and went to speak with his family, Prince Andrew was not very kind to her, while Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were warm and welcoming. The source said that his difference in behavior with Meghan compared to the other royal members was very noticeable. I would assume even to Meghan herself. He definitely did not say or do anything rude. However, we all know that a person's tone can really say so much. And at number 3, Kate Middleton. This one is a little heartbreaking if it's true, but it's widely speculated that Kate Middleton and Meghan do not get along. And these rumors were made worse by Meghan's Oprah interview. But this all could just be speculation from the fans of each of the women, as now that Kate finally has some competition for the love of the people in Meghan, the fans of the two women seem to be battling it out on social media. But it also seems that new info we are learning from the palace is fueling the divide too. Like the fact that Harry and Meghan moved away from William and Kate at one point, or the fact that the brothers' joint staffing agreement was recently ended, with people thinking Meghan is the reason for this new divide between William and Harry. There was even a rumor that Meghan made Kate cry at one point. However, Meghan revealed in the Oprah interview that it was actually the other way around. However, Kate apologized to Meghan, and Meghan seemed to genuinely accept it in the interview. And at number 2, Katy Perry. So this is a random one, but singer Katy Perry threw some serious shade at Meghan's way after her wedding. When the American Idol hosts were all asked about Meghan's dress, Katy replied, quote, "I would have done one more fitting. I'm never not going to tell the truth. One more fitting, but I love you." But that's not all. Perry added on after, quote, Kate won, clearly referring to the fact that Kate had the better dress. But Kate Middleton's Alexander McQueen dress was stunning, I can't even lie about that. And since that was a common sentiment around social media at that time, especially about the dress not being altered properly, most people did agree with Katie. And at number 1, Princess Eugenie. Princess Eugenie is another member of the royal family that many believe does not like Meghan. Apparently, the main reason for the spat is that when Harry and Meghan announced their engagement, Princess Eugenie actually had to push back her own wedding because of it. An insider said the princess was extremely unhappy about having to push back her wedding date due to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding, as the princess and her fiancé were supposed to get married in September of 2018, but were forced to postpone it because of the royal wedding. Princess Eugenie also reportedly hated Meghan for choosing St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle for their wedding venue, since it was Princess Eugenie who wanted that venue first. She did get married shortly after, but obviously her event was very overshadowed.
10. Lack of preparation. In her explosive new interview with Alison P. Davis from Cut magazine, Meghan Markle reiterated that she knew very little about royal life when she got into a relationship with Harry, and even joked about the fact that she hadn't even seen the Julia Stiles movie, The Prince and Me, which would have been a similar story of a normal girl marrying a prince. She said, "That would have been really helpful. That would have been a very key tutorial to have had in advance of all this," adding that she's good at taking direction. Quote, "I was an actress. My entire job was tell me where to stand, tell me what to say, tell me how to say it, tell me what to wear and I'll do it. And I'll show up early and I'll probably bake something for the crew." But the notion that Meghan knew nothing of Prince Harry or the royal family before she met him is a story that she clearly intends on circulating. "Thank God I didn't know a lot about the family. Thank God I hadn't researched. I would have been so in my head about it." There's no doubt that it must have been a nerve-wracking experience, but the reality is most people would at least Google a public figure before meeting them. Number 9. Return to Instagram. Meghan revealed that she was initially indecisive about her potential return to social media, as she was very used to sharing so much of her life online before she wed Harry, saying it was a really big adjustment, a huge adjustment to go from that kind of autonomy to a different life. She then talked about what it was like using the royals' Instagram and called it a largely censored experience, and one that was heavily influenced by the British media. Quote, "There's literally a structure by which if you want to release photos of your child as a member of the family, you have to first give them to the Royal Rota, the UK media pool. Why would I give the very people that are calling my children the N-word a photo of my child before I can share it with the people that love my child? You tell me how that makes sense and then I'll play that game." Now the Duchess says that she's caught between wanting to create a personal account again and wishing to keep her private life private. But one thing's for sure, she is definitely getting back on the gram. It's probably the platform she's missed the most considering that she's a millennial after all. Number 8. Nelson Mandela comparison. This was easily one of the most contentious parts of the interview, the moment where Meghan compared herself to Nelson Mandela. Yes, the legendary activist and first president of South Africa, who spent 27 years in prison for opposing apartheid. During the interview, Meghan recounted a trip to the 2019 London premiere of the live-action version of The Lion King. She said, "I just had Archie. It was a cruel chapter. I was scared to go out." She said it was then that a cast member from South Africa pulled her aside at the premiere and said, "When you married into this family, we rejoiced in the streets the same way we did when Mandela was freed from prison." Although she claims it was the dancer who first made the comparison, the Duchess was quick to receive all kinds of backlash just for putting it out there. In fact, Nelson Mandela's grandson, Mandela, was one of the first people to slam the remarks. He said, "It can never be compared to the celebration of someone's wedding. Madiba's celebration was based on overcoming 350 years of colonialism, with 60 years of a brutal apartheid regime in South Africa." So it's clear that Meghan's choice to even put that in the interview came off as a little tone deaf. Number 7. $1 million deals. One of the things that Meghan has always been known for is her very American work ethic, as she seems to actually enjoy juggling it all and filling her schedule to the brim. In fact, it was one of the reasons why life as a royal did not mesh so well with her. In her new interview, she details her various exploits after leaving the firm, which includes podcasting and multiple Netflix ventures. She also brought up the family's new 3-tier company, Archwell, that was launched in October of 2020, mostly as a way to make some cash following the infamous Megxit. Although the company has not released very much in the way of concrete content, it was revealed that Harry and Meghan managed to score a whopping $25 million Spotify deal and a $100 million Netflix deal for their work. But the only thing we've seen from them so far is the first episode of her new podcast Archetypes, which was released by Spotify this month. Although it initially looked promising, Archetypes has been torn to shreds by critics, with one review saying that the episode makes you feel like you've been locked in a relaxation room of a wellness spa with an unusually self-involved yoga instructor. Which is pretty harsh, so it's probably best that you watch it and decide for yourself. Number 6. Renovation controversy. Everyone knows that the British tabloids were particularly vicious towards Meghan while she lived with Harry at Frogmore Cottage in Windsor. Meghan opened up about the criticism they received surrounding the expensive home renovation and said, "Just by existing, we were upsetting the dynamic of the hierarchy. So we go, okay fine, let's get out of here, happy to." But for whatever reason, it's not something that we were allowed to do, even though several other members of the family do the exact same thing. One of the main things that they were accused of was using exorbitant amounts of taxpayer funds to renovate the home, but they eventually repaid it all and even offered to earn their own money on behalf of the monarchy, which made it virtually impossible for the media to criticize them under the guise of public interest. In fact, it was recently reported that Harry repaid $3.2 million in British taxpayer money that was used to renovate the home in Windsor. Not only that, but it has been widely noted that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are not listed as having benefited from any UK tax funds at all since 2020. On the other hand, the royal family as a whole has cost the UK roughly $124 million this year alone, so make of that what you will. Number 5. Meghan's father. Easily the most interesting part of the interview came about when Meghan brought up her father. The Duchess spoke candidly about her estranged relationship with Thomas Markle and his tendency to leak information about her to the press. She explained that toxic tabloid culture has torn two families apart. Quote, "Harry said to me, I lost my dad in this process. It doesn't have to be the same for them as it was for me, but that's his decision." While she didn't stay on the subject for very long, readers have grabbed onto her words and taken it as a confirmation of a major rift between Prince Harry and his father, Prince Charles. But it was interesting that Meghan took the time to even mention her own father, considering that they were estranged even before her 2018 wedding to Prince Harry. Not to mention the ultimate betrayal that she would have felt when just 2 days before the wedding, Thomas gave an interview to TMZ claiming that he decided not to attend Meghan and Harry's wedding in order to avoid causing his daughter any further embarrassment. He also conspired with a photographer to pose for a series of staged paparazzi photos in order to make a quick buck. So he's not exactly father of the year. Number 4. Harry's revelation. In his most frank interview since quitting their roles, Prince Harry has told the magazine that many of his family members cannot work and live together in the way that he and his wife can. If you didn't pick up on the subtle diss, the article also refers to him as saying the word family with a vocal eye roll. When Davies pointed out that the two of them share a single desk in their home office, Harry said, "Most people that I know and many of my family, they aren't able to work and live together. It's actually really weird because it seems like a lot of pressure, but it just feels natural and normal." This is not the first time that the prince has hinted at a certain tension between himself and his family, as a 37-year-old has previously said that his father stopped taking his calls after he and Meghan stepped back as senior working royals in 2020. So it's apparent that the rift between Harry and his family is worse than ever before, which is certainly sad because it seems like he's unable to separate the people from the firm and has ruined several relationships in the process of becoming independent from the royals. Number 3. $1 million mansion. Speaking of her home, the couple spent almost $15 million on their Montecito mansion, which is where they moved in secret in July of 2020, just a few months after officially stepping down as working royals. When gushing about their 9-bedroom California home, Meghan said, "We did everything we could to get this house, because you walk in and go joy and exhale and calm. It's healing. You feel free." Despite some pipes that needed fixing, the Duchess called the mansion their safe space, as it is apparently a coastal peace den that evokes images of a Napa vineyard. But here's where it starts to sound a little pretentious. Meghan explained that on the lawn there are 2 massive palm trees that represent her and her husband, always connected and supportive of each other. Not only that, but Davies goes on to describe 2 plush club chairs in their living room that are placed side by side to resemble thrones. So it's clear that they wanted their home to still look rather regal. But beyond its gobsmacking price, their decision to live next to US television royalty like Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres was certainly a good move, because Harry and Meghan have made it pretty obvious that they intend to return to the limelight, but this time they're aiming for Hollywood. Number 2. Fighting the firm. Apart from the explosive allegations of racism made in Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah, the Duchess has now revealed that she also fought the firm to stay in the royal family. In fact, she revealed that she and Harry didn't initially want to leave the royal family, but instead wanted to continue their work as royals without using taxpayer funding. They wanted to be completely financially independent, and also asked to leave the UK and relocate to another Commonwealth country like Canada or South Africa. quote, that for whatever reason is not something that we were allowed to do, even though several other members of the family do that exact same thing. Why their request was denied, Meghan ultimately said that she did not know, but Davies wrote in her article that Meghan's knowing gaze seemed to suggest that she had a lot more to say on this, even though she chose not to. But interestingly enough, the Duchess revealed that she was not made to sign anything that would have prohibited her from speaking about her time as a royal, and insisted that she can talk about her whole experience, but is still in the healing process and has chosen not to. And coming in at number 1, forgiveness. The question on everyone's mind as they approached the conclusion of the article was undoubtedly, where does she stand with the royal family now? Meghan arguably left a small yet visible suggestion at the possibility of forgiveness. She said she believed forgiveness to be of vital importance, and something that's far easier to do than holding on to resentment. Quote, I think forgiveness is really important. It takes a lot more energy not to forgive, but it takes a lot of effort to forgive. I've really made an active effort, especially knowing that I can say anything. But it might be too little too late, as Meghan has already given that explosive interview with Oprah in 2020, accusing the British monarchy of racism against their unborn child, and claiming members of the royal family had openly expressed concerns about how dark her son Archie's skin would be. She also exposed the complicated dynamics between her and the Duchess of Cambridge, and painted her in a pretty negative light. So with all things said and done, the new interview didn't do much in the way of damage control, so the possibility of family unity seemed to be a little bit out the window.
At number 10 we have Samantha Cohen. The private secretary to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry said the couple was so difficult and disorderly that it was like working for a couple of teenagers. In a book called The Hidden Power Behind the Crown, highlights how the Duchess of Sussex was once extremely rude while criticizing a plan drawn up by the young female employee in front of other colleagues. William later tried to console the staff and said she was doing a good job. The book also mentioned how the couple bullied Samantha Cohen, who was formerly the Queen's private secretary. However, Samantha joined Harry and Meghan as their interim private secretary after the two got married. The book quoted a source that said nothing Samantha ever did for the couple was good enough. They were impossible and pushed her to her limits. She was miserable. However, the Duchess's lawyers denied in 2021 that Miss Cohen had been bullied, and the couple was always grateful for her support. Number 9, we have Melissa, who was actually Meghan's private secretary. In December of 2018, Meghan lost one of her key staff members. This ignited speculation that the actress was allegedly difficult to work for. Melissa, 39, was Markle's personal assistant for just 6 months. The two clashed over free gifts, including clothes, jewelry, and candles that some companies had sent the Duchess. Melissa followed the rules that royal members cannot accept gifts from commercial organizations, but it claims her approach of handling this rule did not go down with Meghan well. In June of that year, it is said that Buckingham Palace effectively was able to bury a report that outlined allegations of bullying done by the Duchess of Sussex. And the royal aides announced in March that year prior that they were launching an inquiry into Meghan's behavior with staff. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, we have Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams once addressed to the press saying, "Nobody feels sorry for Meghan Markle." The statement comes after Wendy Williams said that Meghan's friends tried to warn her not to marry Prince Harry. She went on to say, "You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet a prince and your friend's going to tell you not to marry him." Or, Meghan's lying to get sympathy. The host then went on to say in a clip from a documentary, Harry and Meghan, An African Journey, that showed Meghan claiming that she didn't get it when her friends warned her about the British media fixation. Williams went on to say, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing, and please don't try to garner any sympathy from us. You knew what you were doing." The Ask Wendy author assured her audience that she really does like Meghan and Harry, but there's something about the Duchess of Sussex and she shouldn't be surprised that the paparazzi are everywhere now that she's a royal. They were not following you when you were on Suits. We didn't even know who you are, except when you came for an employment here at Windy and wanted to be one of our runway models. She then ended the show by saying you knew exactly what you were signing up for, girl. Number 7, Katie Hopkins. It's the scandal the whole world would be talking about. And Katie Hopkins wasn't shy when it came to her opinion on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step down as senior members of the royal family. On the night of Kate Middleton's birthday, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex released a statement confirming their intentions to effectively quit royal duties. Adding that they hope to become financially independent, they went on to say, after many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make the transition this year and to start carving out progressive new role within this institution. We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and to work financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. Katie Hopkins then came out to say where it all went wrong with Meghan on an episode aired on Channel 9's 60 Minutes. In the show, Katie explains Meghan is one of the most stuck up people in England and that she always wears bad clothes. Katie then added Meghan is one of the biggest hypocrites there is. While a fan on the show went to say that there's nothing wrong with Meghan, Katie responded by saying there's nothing right about her either. Number 6, Erin Foster. Making a living making fun of celebrities on her Instagram page, Erin Foster is no stranger when it comes to sharing her opinions about Meghan Markle. In November 2017, Erin posted an old photo of Meghan back in her days on the television show Deal or No Deal. Erin posted the photo with a caption that said never forget, but the post did not end there. Erin posted another picture of the Duchess wearing a little dress holding a briefcase, and she captioned the photo, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." It's no secret that Erin loves to hate on women, so she continued to spend her day arguing with people in the comments who were calling her mean and tone deaf about the post. Many were quick to point out the post seemed personal and that the two must have known each other personally. Number 5, Chrissie Swan. Australian TV personality, radio host, and author Chrissie Swan, in December of 2017 said she hasn't warmed to Prince Harry or his fiancée Meghan Markle. On a Facebook post, Chrissie said that the Duchess is not at all who she appears to be, and she believes the former actress is just acting humble. She's also not the only person who has suggested this narrative, as American TV personality has indicated that Meghan is an opportunist and wouldn't fit in with the royal family. When Chrissie was asked why she had not warmed up to the actress, Chrissie was pressed to elaborate on why she had the feeling she did. She responded by saying it was all because of her manner. She looks like she's portraying a conceited humility of acting. Meghan definitely is going to need some ice for that burn, but it leaves you wondering, is this truly all an act, or is Meghan telling the truth about how the royal family really is with her? Number 4, Trevor Eagleston. Ex-husband of Meghan Markle, Trevor Eagleston, has pretty much remained silent about his marriage to the retired actress. However, in a royal bibliography, Andrew Morton hasn't. In a book Andrew wrote titled Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, he highlights that Trevor was full of hatred when it came to the Duchess, and in one chapter he wrote Trevor went on from cherishing Meghan, and it would deserve his feeling was like he was a piece of something stuck to the bottom of her shoe. The author then went to write, while Meghan was filming Suits in Canada, she ended her relationship with Trevor by mailing back his wedding ring to him. Shortly after, Meghan claimed that she was married to the Hollywood producer. She felt like she didn't always act as if he supported her acting career. A close friend of the two then said Trevor didn't like the dynamic change and he wanted to be the breadwinner and didn't want to share the spotlight. However, Trevor's uncle would then later come out to defend the allegations and would say that's not who his nephew really is. But it's definitely to say we won't be seeing these two work together on sets anytime soon. Number 3, we have Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer once said that Meghan Markle was her nemesis and even explained why in a super hilarious way. Even though the stars aren't actually feuding, it's still worth mentioning the gag of jokes Amy made throughout her pregnancy. Amy first teased her pregnancy with a picture of her head photoshopped over a picture of Meghan Markle's body. The comedian said it's not fun to be pregnant at the same time as the Duchess of Sussex. With the two having very close due dates, they were expected to be delivering their babies by spring in 2019. So Amy confirmed that she would be competing with the royal mom-to-be. Amy definitely wasn't kidding when she brought up Meghan again during a comedy show in November. Amy went on to say, "You know what's not fun? Being pregnant at the same time as Meghan Markle. She's walking around in heels and cradling a baby that's not there." Amy then went on to say because the star was pregnant at the time, she was making Meghan her nemesis because she wasn't going to let her get away with that. While Meghan was out wearing heels, Amy was barely able to put on her flat. It's still worth mentioning that even though Amy is feuding with Markle in a hilarious way, watching her poke a little fun at this running gag was definitely a welcoming distraction to the star to feel better about her own pregnancy blues. Number 2, Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe hasn't been scared to portray his thoughts on the royal family over the years. He's definitely not a fan. Daniel's comments, especially when it comes to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, have definitely managed to raise some eyebrows, especially when it came to his sarcastic comments he made about the British monarchy back in 2009. During his interview with Daily Beast, Daniel made it clear he wasn't a fan of the royal family by saying he's not a royalist, not at all, and he doesn't see the use of monarchy, though he is a fierce patriot. Radcliffe then went on to note that he's very proud to be English and he thinks the family symbolizes what is wrong with the country. He did go on to say that he doesn't think the family's done anything wrong, but he simply doesn't like what they represent. He noted that the royal family shows a huge symbol when it comes to class division, and it's something he particularly didn't like. While Daniel did admit he totally sympathizes with Meghan because of her harsh treatment she's gotten from the press, you probably won't see these two working together considering Daniel's opinions with the royal family and what they stand for. Number 1, Kate Middleton. With everything going on in the royal family's lives, one aspect of the personal lives that has been an ongoing scandal for the last year, it's no secret people love to read about the alleged rift between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. The media continues to keep us up to date with the latest rifts between the two. While the media does tend to blow things out of proportions, the two have had their fair share of minor disagreements, and one actually made Kate cry. Meghan and Harry's wedding back in May of 2018 was definitely a wedding that wasn't without drama. As it was reported, Meghan and Kate had a disagreement about the Flower Girl's outfit. The feud over the dress was so tense, it had Kate in tears over the stressful fitting for her daughter. A source reveals that it was an extremely hot day and there'd been a row over whether the bridesmaid should wear tights. Kate, following the royal family protocol, felt like they should wear tights while Meghan didn't want them to. At the time, Kate was feeling emotional considering she did just give birth. However, before this incident, the two are to be said to have many rifts. And because of these rifts, you definitely won't catch these two in the same room alone.